Basically on like real-time, real-life scenarios of what we're gonna be training for, or what we do train for.
You want to be on camera now?
So
can I do?
It's a revolution.
No, can I do worse than I did? I can.
So if you guys are gonna be on camera, let's just go ahead and position this so then we're all engaged in this conversation. So Tom, you're also on the speaker too.
Okay.
So if you wanted to contribute something, you could definitely be heard pretty well. All right. So this is about an article that's my friend shared with me, and it's really relevant to what we do here in our training, and also about your spiritual training, also about the self-defense and what we're really prepared for. All right, so the article just happened like this week in California. This is the title of the article: Californian girl beaten to death for walking in front of a camera. Woman, 23, killed outside a nightclub because she accidentally interrupted a photo. Okay, now it says Kim Pham was left brain dead following the attack in Santa Ana, California, Saturday. Life support was switched off on Tuesday. She had been waiting outside a nightclub when she became involved in an argument with another girl, whose friends also turned on her. A friend said the fight may have been over a spoiled photo. Police have arrested one woman in suspicion of assault with a deadly weapon and causing great bodily harm. And then basically she was beaten by 5 people, like 3 guys and 2 girls. And here are some pictures of her. You know, she's a petite girl, and
The pictures of people who beat her?
no, they don't. They haven't caught her. Now, some people videotaped it on camera, on a cell phone camera. You briefly see a few seconds of what's going on, but you can't really see much. All right, so you know, you can read up on it. There's a link that I provided in one of my videos. They still haven't caught all the suspects. They only got 1 person. So she was beaten down by 5 people. So what ended up happening was maybe she kind of got in the way of the photo, and then she got in a verbal altercation with one of the females. And then that verbal altercation escalated, and then I think they ended up fighting, and then the girl's friends jumped in. So it's 2 girls and 3 guys beat this girl to death. Okay, so this is just an example of like the real type of training that we need to prepare for out there. Like, there's no rules. Like, people do what they want to do. Like, they don't say, oh, you know, let's have this be a one-on-one fight. You know, they do what they want to do. And we, you know, recently in the bar not too far from here, there was another incident where somebody almost got killed. You know, because there was a verbal altercation between 2 men and one of the guys that worked at the bar. And then the guys had resentment, and they seeked them out afterwards, beat them with some weapons. I mean, basically, what I want people to learn from this situation is that fighting is very dirty, it's very violent, it's not pretty, it's not the entertainment that you see on TV. This is like real life and death situations, and you see that these people out there, they don't have mercy. I mean, you got somebody that takes a gun and shoots up a bunch of kids for no reason. Somebody bombs up a Boston Marathon. These people beat down a petite woman. Men beat her down too. So we shouldn't have this assumption that, oh, a man will never hit a woman. A man will never hit a child. I mean, I feel that women and just people in general, they can't take their safety for granted. You know, like, first of all, part of the martial arts training is supposed to guide you towards like a healthier way of living. So there's a reason why I would say martial artists wouldn't drink alcohol, because it's just not a part of your lifestyle. But if it becomes a part of your lifestyle, look at the people that you're going to be around when you step inside those types of environments. I think the first mistake was being in that environment to begin with. You know, just being in that environment where there's just a lot of alcohol around, there's a lot of egos involved. You're stepping into a very dangerous environment. Alright, another aspect is just the protection aspect. Like, if she would have been with a boyfriend or something, I think she might have lived. But if you're out there by yourself, you see a group of people, and there's a verbal altercation, another aspect is just basically controlling, diffusing the situation before it escalates into something more than it has to be. So, when you see a group of people, and they start yelling and arguing with you, they're doing that because they're with their friends. And if you're by yourself, like, you have to assess the situation and just realize that, hey, you know, maybe just not participate in the argument. Like, just back off rather than verbally fighting back against a group of people. It could just turn, like, really bad. And even if the person was armed, they're not even supposed to be armed inside a club or an alcoholic environment. Say she was armed and she ended up shooting and killing all the people. Yes, you saved her life, but then at the same time, the law is going to be all over her and possibly put her in jail for life simply because she wasn't supposed to have that gun. She was illegal to have that gun at that moment. So it's a very dynamic situation, and I think it's a learning situation, something that can be learned, you know, just learning from that experience and just not taking our safety for granted. You know, when we go to places that are late night, after 10 o'clock, or whatever the case may be, like, not just for yourself, but for, like, the people that you care about. Like, you gotta think about, like, things that can happen. You know, like, I think that women, you know, they have to realize that, hey, you know, when you go somewhere late at night by yourself, like, it's like when you have, like, someone there to protect you, it gives you more security. It's like having, like, you know, that extra protection. You know, but if you don't have that, then maybe just don't go. You know what I'm saying? Like, if she didn't have somebody to protect her at that violent environment, maybe just don't go. Because it's just, there's a reason why a lot of businesses close down really late at night, because bad things happen. You know what I mean? What are the things that stay open late at night, like casinos and bars and clubs and stuff? These are places where criminals hang out. And you think you're going to go there to have fun, but then you have these encounters with people that could turn deadly. So, you know, as a martial artist, you're supposed to make smarter decisions. So rather than, like, hanging out at the bars and clubs, maybe you'd be training. You know, training with your friends. Maybe you'd be conversating with your friends. You wouldn't make better life decisions. You know, like, if you train in martial arts and you stop drinking, then why would you be involved in a DUI? It would be impossible because you don't even drink to begin with. It's just like making smarter decisions in your life that help protect you, and just being aware. You know, if you go out late at night, have protection. You know, no matter if you have the gun with you, or if you're allowed to carry it, or if you have some type of security, like you're going with somebody that can protect you. You know, or just go the next day when it's the daylight out. I mean, it's just making smart decisions. Just like, you know, they'll make state, you know, people talk about, like, walking in the dark alley or walking in a well-lit place. You know what I mean? And knowing when and when not to argue back. I mean, you got a bunch of people that are drunk that think they're all badass, and it's just you against 5 people. It's not smart to argue back. Even though they're on the wrong, it's not smart to argue back in that moment. But if you had all your friends with you, and they had all their friends, it's 5 against 5, and you want to argue and all this, and then you turn it into a brawl, at least it's an even match. But if there's a group of people, you know, I noticed that a lot of people, they want protection, so they join a gang, and what they do is that becomes their ego. Oh, I got more friends than you, so I'm cool now. And then the martial artists, or the people that, you know, that don't have the people, you know, but they're trained themselves, there's the ego that comes, an individual ego. Oh, I'm stronger than you. But then other people that aren't strong, they'll gather up a bunch of friends. Well, I got more friends than you. It's just a whole ego thing. And that's how it is when people go to prison, is they have to join the groups for protection. So there's people out there that join groups, gather up friends, and then there's this big ego. And then they're going to try to embarrass you or talk down to you to make their friends laugh. But if you argue back at that moment, it could turn to a very deadly situation if you're not prepared for it. So sometimes you just gotta back off. Like they're gonna try to make themselves feel like they're so cool in front of, you know, their friends. You know, they got their 5 friends there and they're talking trash to you. Sometimes it's better just to walk away and just don't even bother with it. But as soon as you say something, they call you blah blah blah, and then you're like, what'd you say? And then now they think, even though you could beat them up, but you didn't forget about all the people that are behind them. Now you get in a fight with this guy, and then everybody jumps in, and then it could turn into something like this. You know, another thing, somebody left a comment on there saying like, oh, this happened to me before. You know, I got jumped by 7 people, but my boyfriend was there. But yeah, 7 against 2. You know, but they still survived. But then she mentioned that it was out of, like, a lot of times it's out of jealousy. You know, like her boyfriend even told her like, maybe you should dress down a little bit so you don't attract so much attention. And then basically, they're basically saying when they're beating them down, they're like, yeah, you think you're all that. So basically, it's like the ugly girls get jealous of the pretty girls. The pretty girls that kind of show off their beauty, the ugly girls hate that. And then their boyfriends might be looking at the pretty girl, and then they get so angry, and they're just waiting to fight. You know, and then it's just like the ugly against the pretty. I mean, it's just like, it's kind of like that out there. So just being aware of that mentality when you step into these environments, and know when to back down, and when, you know, when you could stand up for yourself. You know, just making smarter decisions. And I think this is an instance where everybody could learn. And just women in general, just not taking their safety for granted. You know, like some women just argue with the man right, you know, like she wants to fight him, thinking, just assuming that he won't hit her. Like just basically yelling at the guy, assuming that, oh, he's not going to hit a woman. And then they just kind of take it too far. You know, and then they don't know that, hey, there are men out there that will hit a woman. You know, so it's not, there's no rules out there. When you're on the ground, they'll stomp on you. If you're a woman, they'll hit you. If you're just one, they'll have 10 people against you. You have no weapons, they got a bunch of weapons. There's no rules out there. They do whatever they want to do, and it's just like you gotta be prepared for all that, and just like make smarter decisions in your life. And also, the smart decisions you make will influence like the people around you. It'll influence your friends. It'll influence your children. You know, you make a stupid decision, now your friends could fall down with you. Like the other time, not too long ago, somebody drowned to death because he was trying to retrieve his cell phone from a river. The cell phone went on the river. He jumped over the fence to get the cell phone, and he fell in through. And then his 2 friends jumped in after him, and they pretty much died too. Only one person survived. But when you see your friend in trouble, say it's your friend that's getting beat up, and then you want to help, and then you get beat up too. Or your friends got killed, you know, getting beat up, and then you jump in and you get killed too. So it's just like making good decisions in life will have an effect on the people around you. So it's very important that you make good decisions, and that you spend time with people that make good decisions as well. You know, your friend doesn't make a good decision. He's drunk, drinking and driving, and then you go inside the car with them, and then you both get in a car accident. Or what happened with that guy, the Paul Walker guy? You know, his friend was driving like 200 miles an hour, then he loses his life too. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just like, we have to, as martial artists, have to make good decisions. Because this is going to influence your friends, it's going to influence your family, your children, and the people around you. So we have to make good decisions. You know, so that's just something that I wanted to talk about that's really relevant to our training. And then later on, next time we can go over like what to do if you are on the ground, how to protect yourself to at least save your life. Because she died from brain damage. If she knew how to like protect her head properly, and she was trained in her arms and everything, she might have survived. But if you don't have that type of training, somebody stomps right onto your skull, full force, you could die right there. But there's a difference between getting stomped like this and then getting stomped like this, you understand? So getting your hands up there and getting that proper training could save your life. Okay? But I just wanted to bring that up. Is there anything you guys want to say? Okay. Anything that you want to say, you're good.
No, you know what, I think you gotta be prepared for all these things as well, so I agree with you completely.
Okay. Alright, cool. Alright, that's good for the training. Let's bow real quick. Alright, good job, guys.